guys, so I am coming to you today with a quick express arm workout. So I'm gonna get my timer ready because we are gonna be doing some of this for time. We're gonna take just a few shoulder rolls and head circles to begin with, but know that for this arm workout, you could do light weights, or you could do a theraband. I'm going to show you one set with each of these. If you don't have light weights, you could use water bottles, soup cans, wine bottles, if you have those handy. And if you don't have a theraband, you could use a pair of leggings, a pair of tights, anything like that. So know that those are your options, and we will get started. All right, we're gonna start with just a few head circles, and I'm gonna take half circles, side, down and over to the other side, and then down and over. The reason I'm skipping back is because we tend to be pretty tight through the backs of our necks, and sometimes when we circle all the way back, we just kind of crunch into that. So I personally, when I'm warming up everything, like to take little half circles. And if you feel like this is extra tight on the side, you can take an extra breath there, right? Same thing, over to the other side, option to take an extra breath there. And then we'll just have two more on each side, just gently waking everything up. And one more each side. And I'm just gonna take some shoulder circles up, back and down. Okay, these can be as big or as small as you like. I just kind of want to get those arms moving. One more that direction, and then we'll circle the other way. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so this first round, I'm gonna show you with the band. Depending on how long your band is, you could stand on it, you could kneel on it, right? Just kind of depending on how much length you have. I'm gonna start standing, see how it goes. So feet are gonna go into the middle, and I'm gonna show you from the side so you can see what happens with my hips. I want to take a little bend into my knees and hinge slightly forward, just a little bit. Now make sure that the ribs are closed. Sometimes we hinge forward and we start to arch and the ribs flare open because we're thinking about keeping our chest wide, but we do want to close the ribs, belly button toward the spine, collarbone is wide. And we're gonna start first by just pressing those arms straight back. And we're gonna do this for 1 minute. Okay, so tiny little range of motion. I care more about keeping that collarbone wide than how far back those hands are going. So know that I don't really care if the hands press all the way up to the ceiling. It's more important to keep that shoulder in a safe position as we press those arms back. And you're gonna make sure you're breathing. Right, we also want to resist the urge to tuck the tailbone under as we're doing this because that's gonna start to feel funky on the back. So make sure that spine stays long. And we're pressing. And you're breathing. And even though this is arm specific, we do still want to think about that belly button toward that spine because we're always engaging through those transverse abdominals to support our posture. You've got another 10 seconds. And then we're going to hold those arms back. We're just going to bend from the elbows. That's in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now from here, you're just going to bend those elbows and press back. So if you take with me at Lagrudi, this is going to be similar to your sexy back, right? I'm not crossing the band because since I'm standing, I already have a really decent amount of resistance on there. So this would be kind of like a sexy back at the back of the machine with the red cables. If you have a lighter band, you feel like you want more intensity, you could circle your arms around that, right? Choke up on that band a little bit more, and that will give you some more intensity there. If you're like, feels intense enough, take that circle away, right? And you can keep going there. Back of the neck stays long. Again, we're thinking about keeping the longest line possible from the crown of the head down through the tailbone. So we want to resist the urge to look forward because you can see how that shortens the back of my neck, so I want to keep that nice and long. And those arms should be feeling warm. And now again, remember we want to keep the collarbone wide, shoulders back and down. Got another 10 seconds here. And then we're going to take this into a bicep curl. That's in 4, 3, 2, 1. You can bring that torso upright. I'll turn to face you now. And you're just gonna bicep curl that in. Again, if you have a shorter band, you could do this on your knees. And if you wanted more intensity, you could choke up on that band. We're thinking about keeping the collarbone wide, shoulders down. And again, that core is in tight. So as you curl in, I want you to resist the urge of leaning back to pull those bands in, right? Core stays tight. breathing. And this should feel a little bit nicer than all of that tricep work we just did, at least for the first part of it. Okay, biceps should definitely be getting warmer now. And you're breathing. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you're feeling those arms. All right, this is gonna be nice and quick. Nothing too crazy. We do have some shoulder work coming. Give me about another 15 seconds. And then I am gonna make my way down onto my knees because I need a little more length through my band for this one. That's in 7. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just gonna make my way down onto my knees. Now I'm still coming onto that band. And then depending on how much intensity you want here, you could have your butt down on your heels, or if you want more, you could bring your butt up off of your heels. I'm gonna start with my butt down because I have fairly long arms, so we're gonna see how this goes. And we're taking that shoulder press up. And again, my ribs are staying closed. Press. And up. Thinking about stopping those elbows before they drop below 90. And again, this is similar to your shoulder press on the Megaformer. You will notice that I'm pressing more straight up, and that's because my band is directly underneath me versus behind me. But my core is still tight. And you could always slow it down, right? You could take a slow 4, 6, or 8 count up, slow 4, 6, or 8 count down, right? Just depending on how that's feeling this morning. Nice job, you guys. We have one more arm exercise after this before we swap out to the weights and do the whole thing again. Now, if you only have just weights or just the band, you could do both sets with that one prop. Not a problem. Working the same muscles. Give me another 15 seconds here. And then we're going to take a version of a newspaper to get into those rotator cuffs. You have 7. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to extend my legs out in front of me, wrap the band around my feet, cross the band so that I am holding up a little bit tighter. I will wrap my hands around the band for this. If you're sitting here and you feel like you're kind of stuck back because your hamstrings and lower back are tight, take a bend into your knees and sit up nice and tall. You could also sit on a block if you have a block. Now from there, oh, it's hard to turn with that. We're gonna have those elbows into your sides and you're gonna rotate open, just like you would for your newspaper on the Megaformer. We're thinking about keeping that collarbone wide and keeping those elbows into the sides. My ribs are staying closed. And you're breathing. Nice work, you guys. So, after we finish about a minute here, we're gonna do all of those over again with those weights. I'm gonna do them in reverse order, just so I'm not standing up and down and up and down. But if you wanna keep the same order, you are absolutely welcome to. You can always just start the video over and take the same order with those weights. Otherwise, we'll reverse them. I'm gonna keep that breath going. Got about another 20 seconds. Don't worry, I won't count down for the whole 20. Think about sitting up nice and tall. Back of the neck is long. Collarbone is still nice and wide. You have another 10 seconds, and then we're gonna swap the band out for those weights. And just another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll take that band away, and now we're gonna grab those weights. I personally prefer to be kneeling, but if you like sitting with your legs out in front of you, you can do that. This is just more comfortable for me to stay up nice and tall. Now from here, those weights are in your hands. I like to take a loose grip just so I'm not gripping for dear life, but if you like to hold on a little bit tighter, that's totally fine. Elbows into your sides, and then rotate open. Nice job, you guys. Just checking time, making sure I'm accurate for you. Collarbone is wide. Now this will feel a little bit different with the weights than it did with that band, but don't worry, they're both beneficial. So again, if you only have just a band or just weights, you can do this set again with whichever prop you have. Keeping it nice, slow, and controlled, resisting the urge to flare those elbows out, and also resisting the urge of opening and arching to open a little farther. We still want to keep that core in nice and tight. Nice, and as always, you're still breathing. Always breathing. Rotating open. So from here, we're going to be getting into that shoulder press, since we're taking these in that reverse order. Give me another another 15 seconds here. Really squeeze that open. Feel that neck long, shoulders relaxed. We're gonna bring those arms into that goalpost position in another 7. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come into that goalpost position. Now from there, you're pressing up and slowly down. Now, for the amount of weight, I'm using 3 pounds, so nothing crazy. Right? If you want to go heavier than that, you can absolutely go heavier than that, but keep in mind, we're going for time rather than reps. So stick with something where you can maintain control over those weights for that entire time. As we press those arms up, we want to resist the urge to lean back with it, right? We're keeping that core in tight, slowly pressing up, keeping the ribcage closed, keeping the traps down away from those ears. And you're pressing. Nice job, you guys, good. Your arms are gonna feel lovely after this, just nice and worked, nothing crazy. You have about another 20 seconds. And then we're getting into those biceps. And again, if you liked the first order better, you could just start that video over and do the first order. Right. Nice work, you have 10 seconds switching into those bicep curls. In 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna come all the way up on my knees, right? Just because my arms are pretty long, so if I keep my butt down on my heels, it's gonna be a little harder for that. Now, if you have 3 pounds, these bicep curls are gonna feel fairly easy, so really think about going nice and slow, squeezing that bicep at the top, and slowly resisting down. Right. If you have another set of weights that are a little bit heavier that you wanted to swap out for your biceps, you could feel free to do that. I'm gonna stick with my 3s. Right, we're thinking about keeping that muscle engaged the entire time. So when we get to the top, we want to squeeze the muscle, but we want to resist the urge to prop those weights in. And when we get down to the bottom, we do still want to keep that a little active, so we want to resist the urge to let those hang, right? We're going to keep that moving the entire time. Nice work, you guys. Hopefully those arms are feeling a little bit warmer. Remember, the collarbone is wide, shoulders are away from those ears. You're gonna give me another 15 seconds, and then we're gonna turn this into that sexy back, right? Which with your weights, it's gonna feel just like a tricep kickback. That's happening in another 8, 7, 6. We'll hinge slightly forward at those hips. You can also do this standing in 3, 2, 1. So if you wanted to stand, you could come back to standing like we did at the beginning. If you're kneeling, right, same thing, you just hinge slightly forward. Make sure that core is in nice and tight. Elbows lift. Collarbone is wide, those shoulders are back and down, and you're extending. And back, and 2. When you have those weights especially, I want you to be mindful that as you extend, you squeeze, and then you control that on the way in. Sometimes it's tempting to let it swing and use momentum, right? But we want to make sure we're using the muscles to do it versus momentum to do it. Back, the neck is nice and long, so if you feel those shoulders creeping up, give them a roll back and down. Core is still tight. You're always breathing. And I hope you're having fun, right? Because remember, it's always fun. All just depends on how you think of it. Give me another 20 seconds here. And all we have left are those straight arm lifts. Okay. That's happening in 10. We'll keep those arms straight. You have 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen those arms. Collarbone is still wide. We still have that slight hinge forward, and now we're lifting up. Nice work, you guys. Try to keep that neck nice and long. As the arms start to get tired, resist the urge to let the head hang down. Right? You want to keep that long line from the crown of the head down through the tailbone. Little tiny lifts. Again, it doesn't have to be a huge range of motion. I want to make sure that that collarbone stays wide. So if you're doing this and you're facing forward, right, you can kind of tell if the traps are wanting to take over if you start to see this happening, right? Shoulders back and down, keep that wide. And you're breathing. You're almost done, you guys. I told you it would be fast, right? Super quick. Keep that breath going. You've got it. Really nice work. Give me just another 15 seconds, that's it, and then you're done. You have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring that down. Really nice job, you guys. That was it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will have more stuff coming for you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.